So I clipped it up at the top, so you can try that. It never works. The kids have already seen it, and so there's that. I don't think they'll ask too many questions. So, okie dokie. All right, Miss Rhonda. So I'm just going to ask you a few questions, just about your classroom, and then RTC. And so, can you tell me, if anything, like outside of what we talked about, like last night a little bit, have you heard anything about RTC, or are you nervous about it in any way, or what are your thoughts?
I haven't heard much about it, but I'm not nervous.
Okay.
It's supposed to help us in real time.
Literally what it means.
Literally, yeah.
Okay, anything else?
I'm excited.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, well, look, I'm excited too. Yay! Okay, and so can you describe your reward and consequence system in your class team?
Sure. With our system, rewards are basically moving down on the stoplight. So basically all children start on green. And so as the day progresses, if you do, above and beyond, then you'll move down to blue, which means you had an amazing day.
She moved down to blue?
Yep, she moves down to blue. But if you're on green, and if you're not listening after our second warning, if you're not raising your hand when you want to talk, when you are touching another child, not paying attention, then you move up to yellow. And once yellow, we give you another warning. After that, then you go to red. Red, you can always move up and down, but red means today is just not a good day for you. You're not managing yourself well. We have rules for you in mind, rules for the students. We give you several warnings. We give you our expectations. And if you don't meet the expectations, then we have to move you up a cliff.
Okay. So what happens in terms of being yellow and red? Is there like a conversation? Is there a phone call home? How does that work? Is
Right.
there like a timeout?
With us, we remind the kids that you can always move back down. It can always be a better day. Once we're at red, we have a small conversation. Sometimes we move you to the side. Me personally, I'll move them to the side. See what all is going on other than just not paying attention or not raising your hand when you're called on. But after that, when we meet the parents outside, we'll let them know he was on red today or yellow today. This is why he wasn't talking such and such. But tomorrow's always a brand new day.
Okay.
So we can't wait to see them tomorrow. They'll start back on green.
Okay. And so for the rewards, is the only reward moving up to blue in class?
We also have stickers. Stickers. That's usually if you're going above and beyond, if you're surpassing our expectations in that moment, or we have some type of activity for you to do, and then you'll get a sticker, depending on, how well you're listening to directions, actually doing what the directions say. If you maybe help a classmate or help the teacher out, something like that.
Okay.
A sticker.
And then who are some of the students that you feel need the most love? So by that I mean, who are some of the students that maybe you see more challenging behaviors than others?
I definitely think all of them definitely need more love. I feel like it's such a big change coming into a school system.
Right.
I think the most who stand out to me are Robert.
Okay.
He's already doing very well in class, but I like to push him because he'll help out other students. He's always got his hand raised, always volunteered. My little Ashley, she comes in, she kind of has a hard time transitioning from home to school in the morning, so we give her a little extra love, a little extra attention. We have a sticker chart for her. Miss Melanie, she also has a little hard time, but she can she's better at calming herself down.
Okay. And where do they sit? Do they normally all sit at the carpet, or are they at tables?
We switch them out. Usually math is at the carpet, phonics is at the table, writing, we start them on the carpet, then move them to the table. And read aloud is always on the carpet.
Okay.
So
you'll be teaching which piece of that
writing today.
Writing, and that will be at the tables.
At the tables.
At the tables, okay. And do you know what tables Robert, Ashley, and Melanie sit at?
Robert sits at table 3.
Okay.
And Melanie also sits at that same table, so that's why we kind of have them together.
Okay.
And then Ashley, I believe, is at table 4. So she's at table 2.
Okay. And then when thinking about Robert, Ashley, and Melanie,
Mhm.
are there any behaviors that you might find challenging sometimes? Or do they not, exhibit any behaviors that are challenging for you?
Melanie, she always raises her hand. She's not calling out Robert. He raises his hand. Sometimes he gets excited because he knows that he calls out, but he always gives everybody a chance.
Mm-hmm.
Ashley, she's not always focused and paying attention, but we know she knows the answer. So.
Awesome. And then do you remember any of the parts of the No Nonsense Nurture? So there are 4 pieces,
mm-hmm.
right? I feel like, we've been sharing, or TFA has been sharing with you all since you came. Do you remember any of the 4 pieces of the No Nonsense Nurture cycle?
I can think of clear expectations for the students.
So, yeah, precise directions.
Yeah. Narration immediately after.
Uh-huh.
Consequences after the warning, and I believe I already said positive narration.
Mm-hmm.
Consequences, and then I want to say conferencing maybe with them.
Something like that. So building relationships and doing that right.
Mm-hmm.
Real. And do you feel like you do all of these in unison, or do you feel like you do bits and pieces at different times?
I think I do it all at one time and bits and pieces.
Okay.
I know some students who, all you have to do is, give them maybe another direction with it, and they, oh, okay. So I know some students. Some students, they're on task immediately.
Alrighty. And which ones do you find to be a strength? Or do you find all of it to be a strength doing it together? The 4 parts.
I would say it differs for some students. I would say it's all a strength, but my main thing would be positive narration. But soon they hear so-and-so is raising their hands, they're like, oh, okay.
Oh, well, wait, I'll raise my hand too.
There we go.
Okay.
Then they're like, oh, okay, that was a part of the directions. Yeah.
I remember
it's
now.
It's their memory, and I completely, that's why I keep working with them, because I know it's a lot to remember, so I keep giving chances, so.
Okay. And so, do you find that you're giving MVP directions before you narrate?
I've worked on that a lot better, especially this being my 3rd week.
Mm-hmm.
It's so much better, because before, I was, please do this, guys, thank you, and these type of things, and now it's just clear,
concise, to the point.
This is what you're going to do. So-and-so is standing up, so-and-so has their hand raised, so-and-so is walking quietly. Nathan, move your clip to yellow. You're supposed to be quiet right now.
Okay.
So it's a lot more in sync. Before, I wanted to give chances. I knew they were getting started in it, but clear expectations, narration, there's nothing else.
Okay. Do you find that you're actually utilizing the consequences, or do you find that you're staying with just giving warnings constantly?
No, consequences, definitely.
Okay,
I may not
find that
move,
you're moving through it?
Yeah, I may not move the clip immediately, but after our activity, everybody's sitting down, I made conference with them. This is why you're moving to yellow. I know we didn't get through it because I was still in my lesson, but because I feel like breaking up the lesson going to do that, unless the student can get up and do it, if they're sitting down on the carpet, it breaks up everything.
Mm-hmm.
So
okay, and that's something we can take a look at today too, just
right.
in case they're on the carpet. But I know you said they'll be at the table.
Yeah.
And so we can see what that sounds like.
Yeah.
And so for you, when you're thinking about real-time coaching specifically, we're going to be trying to go through all of it together, because I know you said for some students you do all the pieces in unison,
mm-hmm.
and then for other students sometimes it can be fragmented.
Right.
And so we're going to work on the consistency for that being consistent, doing each piece all together all the time. And so we can practice that today. And so what we're about to do now, I know we have a few more minutes, we are going to go over some of the language that's going to be used in the earpiece. You can ask me any questions that you may have about your period coming up. And then I can tell you, I think that you heard Tyreek when he was explaining why he had the earpiece.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you heard that. He went with the magic earpiece. That's not something that I went for, but the kids loved it.
Okay.
But I just want to confirm. So I'm going to see you today for our session at 10:50 until 11:10, because you start teaching at 10:40, correct?
We have table centers after phonics. which is another half an hour period. Mine is right before lunch. 10:40 to 11:10.
10:40 to 11:10.
Yeah,
okay.
and then you're gonna come.
So I'll be
10
there
minutes
at
after.
10:50.
Yeah.
Is that okay? That works.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that still works. And then I will see you today at 12:40 until 1 p.m.
12:40 to 1. Okay.
And so we can probably either meet out there or in here if the nurse is not in here. But essentially, I was telling Terry before he came with the magic earpiece. I don't know if he did the piece about like the football player and the coach.
Mm-mm.
So essentially, if a student is asking about it, but because they've already seen Tariq, they may or may not.
Mm-hmm.
But we like to tell people it's kind of like, a football player and a coach. Like when the football player quarterback is on the field, his coach is in his ear just giving him plays.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing that we're doing, trying to assist you in being more consistent and being the best teacher that you can be for students. So if someone asks, they may not. That may be above their heads. Maybe that's why Tariq was using the magic earpiece. And after they asked a few questions, that was it. And so I'm going to try this really quickly. Yeah. Is that too loud?
No.
Wait,
Good.
you got some. Wait, but you got some.
I was like, yeah.
Yeah,
All right.
I can hear you. Okay. So let's just do a practice. Give them directions.
Silently stand up and walk back to your tables.
Yeah.
Nathan is standing up. Melanie is walking to her table. Robert is sitting down at his table.
Give Lily.
Alea? Is that Alea?
Lily.
Lily.
Alea's pretty.
Lily, you should be sitting down at your table, or the expectation is for you to sit at your table.
Mm-hmm. So, but I love
You said. I thought you said Alea. I was like, Alea is always good.
Oh,
no.
there's a student named Alea?
Alea.
I think that's a gorgeous name. That's why I was like, we can use
She's-
Alea.
I was like, she's awesome. No, that's not her.
She would never.
She would
She
never.
would never. So the what you did great there was you gave your MVP directions. You told students exactly what you wanted their movement, their voice, and their participation to be.
Mm-hmm.
Then you went straight into your narration,
Mm-hmm.
right? That's another cue that I might give you
Mm-hmm.
throughout the time. You self-corrected when you were saying the expectation
Yes.
for Lily was for you to be, I think you said,
Sit at your seat. Sitting at your seat.
silently or sitting at your seat. So giving that piece. And so when you're giving your consequences or your warnings,
Mm-hmm.
they should align with your narration. So for example, if your MVP was for students to walk silently and sit down or walk silently to their chairs, you would say, oh, Alea's walking silently. Justin just sat in his chair. Tina just sat down silently. Leah, the expectations for you to be sitting silently at your chair. That's your warning. Come on, I know you got it. And so the piece that I try to tell people to add on is some type of encouragement for a student. And then once you do that piece, you're going to go back to narrating. And so, do you see directions?
What?
Okay, so that's great. So the next time, if you can't hear me during, instead of being like, what did you say? I didn't. Right. You just hit on your thing. So kind of how you were holding it before when you're like, yeah, yes, I can hear you. You're just going to tap it like that so that I know to repeat my cue.
Okay.
Okay.
Something about directions. Repeat directions.
State directions.
State directions. Silently stand up and walk back to your tables. Aiden is standing up. Melanie is silent. Robert is walking back to his table. Lily, the expectation is for you to stand up, silently walk back to your table. You can do this.
Mm-hmm. Narrate. Tina.
Tina.
Mm-hmm. Narrate Tina.
Okay, Tina is walking back to her chair. Aiden is walking. Lily, the expectation was for you to stand up, walk silently back to your table.
So I messed you up there.
Okay.
Because I might have been going too quickly. So essentially what you did great. So you went to your MVP, you narrated, you gave Lily her expectation or her warning.
Okay.
Then you went back and you narrated another student. And so what I was saying was to
Lily
circle
was
back.
still not doing it.
No, she was. I was saying to circle back. So essentially, if you'll hear me say, circle back to Lily, positively narrate.
Okay.
That means circle back to Lily, give her that positive attention for getting back on task.
Okay.
So let's try that one more time and then you can go.
Okay.
You only have 2 minutes. Perfect. Okay. So why don't you start from Mary?
Aiden is walking back to his seat. Jamalise is silent, and Robert is sitting at his seat. Lily, the expectation is for you to stand up silently and walk back to your seat. You can do this.
Okay. Mary, Patrick.
Patrick is standing up silently.
Lily is sitting in her seat.
Lily, good job. You're sitting in your seat silently.
And then I was going to say next to the directions.
Next to the job. Now we are all going to reach to the middle of the table, pick up our pencils, and begin on our writing narration. Writing our narration.
Okay. So essentially, those are just some of the cues that you'll get. And so, MVP directions, restate directions, or narrate. I may tell you to narrate specifically to your MVP if you haven't already.
Okay.
I might say attention grabber if students are kind of like off, you need to get everyone back on task. I might say to circle back to Lily. I'll try to give you a name if I can remember. But yeah, those are just some of the cues that you're going to hear. Do you have any questions about it?
No, okay.
Did you? Okay, well, look at us with 1 minute and 30 seconds to spare.
Okay, well then let me tell you this.
Yes.
Melanie, I don't think we'll have a problem in actual class. I was saying like she's one of them that needs more attention. In class, she's good. It's the beginning part. I will say Emmanuel.
Okay, what's up with the manual?
Emmanuel, he will be moving around. He'll sit down when you tell him and get right back up and do it. So that's another person I focus on.
What do you know about Emmanuel?
He knows how to do his tasks. He knows exactly what he's doing, fine. But he chooses to talk. He chooses to tap people, get other people engaged with him.
What has his family said about Emmanuel? Is he like that at home as well?
He is not. When he comes in the morning, he's completely fine. I've talked to his mom, like, okay, Emmanuel's on red again for the week, so we're going to begin again next week. The main thing going on with him is talking, getting up from his seat. And he's like, Emmanuel, now you know this. And so his reward is actually to get a gift or a toy at the end of the week. He hasn't been getting that because he's been getting red. At least what I think if he is getting it.
So we can pay attention to that. Where does Emmanuel sit at the tables?
Okay, so this is the first table, second table. I can't remember if that's 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is table 4, table 3, table 2, table 1. 1, 2, 3, 4 when we come in.
So he sits at 4?
He sits at 3 because going backwards.
Okay. So we can look at that today too.
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. Well, thank you. Oh,
okay.
And that's our time. Look at that. Look at us. All right. So I'm going to steal that from you.
Okay.
And then when you go into class, I'll begin and I'll be in the back. I can bring the piece to you, whatever works. Okay.
That'll be good.
Awesome. Thank you, Rita, for meeting with me.
Okay.
I appreciate you.